Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Today we're going to be talking about Never Ever Meet, Season 1, Episode 1. So it's going to be a review. I'm going to talk. I have a lot of things to say about the show. Just before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like, share, and don't forget to let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I also think this is one of the shows where I have to bring you guys up and for us to discuss the madness together. So I think let me know what times you would prefer to be able to join a live show so we can talk about it. And then we can work on setting something up for Sundays or maybe Mondays. But let me know what you guys think and we can set something up. Anyways, let's get into this madness. Well, just to give some context about the show, essentially there are a bunch of couples who have never ever met. Some have been dating for a couple of months, some have been dating for a year, some have been dating for a few years. Now, here's the thing that I was like, are you serious? Shay and Jay are a couple that have been dating for 12 years and they have never ever met, according to them. And I'm just like, I understand a couple of months. I understand if you're in a completely different country and you're dating someone for a couple of months and you've never met them. I can even say I understand, let's say you were dating someone at a time where you're not financially stable. They're not financially stable yet. They live in a completely different country. So affording flight tickets are really, really expensive. So you guys are not able to see for maybe a year or so. But 12 years? That is a decade and a little bit of change. That's that's a whole kid that is literally almost about to hit that puberty. Seriously, that is a lot. So for me, I'm just why is it that you guys didn't see for 12 years? I need a little bit more of context around that. Was one of you guys in jail? Because I struggle to accept that you can really say, I genuinely care about you and I want to be with you and I have not seen you for the last 12 years. That's a madness to me. I feel what makes it even worse, right, is think about it, right? It's not like you guys met and then circumstances happened and you've not been able to see each other again after that. This is you guys have never even met. So it's my question is, what has been happening in the last 12 years? And I feel I hope that is something that the show does dive into. So now let's talk about the date. So first of all, there was one thing I wanted to say. When Millie showed up and was interacting with the girls, I loved her energy. I thought she came in with really good energy. She's the one that is dating a guy called Greg. I thought she came in with really light, really nice energy. So I'll be interested to see how things progress with her as a character on the show. But let's talk about the dates. So Sienna went on a date with Brandon. It was a cooking class. And I thought Sienna looked absolutely stunning in that dress. Brandon seemed to be okay, he likes what he saw. I don't know if I really felt there was this chemistry or attraction between them. But then again, sometimes on a first date, there isn't that initial sort of attraction, chemistry. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. And so I completely understand that. And I'm not going to be oh, there's no chemistry between them. I would say let's wait and see what it looks like. Now, I did like the idea of a cooking date as a first date. So if you guys are looking for a first date idea, I think that's a good thing because you can get to know people's relationship with food. You can get to see how they take instructions or not. I feel all these things are crucial when you're dating somebody. You want to see them in different scenarios, because at the end of the day, right, when you're in a relationship with someone long term, they are going to need to fit into your life and you fit into theirs, right? So I feel there has to be something where you're okay, they can hang in different, settings. It's not just a dinner. They can hang when they're in a cooking class. They can hang if we're as long as we're together, we're going to be having fun in some way. Anyways, let's move on to this raggedy ass yoga date. So Dominic set up a yoga date with Alexis. Now, there's a lot of things that were wrong with this date for me, and I'll tell you in a second. The first thing I thought was madness was that he set up a yoga date as a first date. For me, it's a hell nah. I'm just like, why would you set up a yoga date as a first date? That sounds bothersome to me as a person. Like, it just doesn't make sense that you're gonna want to set up a yoga date. Not a fan of that as a first date. And he then said, like, when he saw Alexis, he was like, she cute or whatever, but the body was not hitting in the same way it was online, and showed some pictures. I'm like, dude, there's something called angles, and the body pretty much looks very similar to what he saw online. She still had the smaller waist, the wider hips, booty. So I don't understand what he means by that. Yes, of course, pictures, angles, you're of course going to look a certain way. You probably will look like you have no belly when in reality you may have a little something. But it was not that significantly different. It almost feels like he's expecting this idea of perfection, which really does not exist. And so for me, I felt bad for her because it felt like she was out here all like, oh, you look the same, and, really feeling him. And he was there like, the body is not giving the same as pictures. I'm like, dude, chill. And yeah, for me, it was cringeworthy when she was like getting up on him and having all this physical intimacy when he just said that he wasn't even like really feeling her body like that. So I felt secondhand embarrassment for her. But let's move on to Greg and Millie. So you lot know already that Millie is my fave. I only say that because I like people that come with good energy. That's just how I am, and that's how I enter a room. So when I see someone that comes in with like good energy, I'm like, yes, come on. So I liked that about her. She looked really nice when she went on the date with Greg. And it was interesting that Greg was like, women like men that play hard to get. I'm like, what are you talking about, sir? No, we don't. And where do you lot get this mad thing from? Like, I've heard people say that before, and I'm just like, that is so problematic. No, absolutely not. I like a man who knows what he wants. I like a man that does everything to show that he wants me. I don't like a man where I have to question whether or not he likes me. There's no point in that. So wherever you got that mindset from, you need to put it in the toilet. And the interesting thing with Greg and Millie is they actually live in the same city together, and they've never seen for 3 years. That is a madness to me. I can't imagine talking to somebody and I have the opportunity to meet them. We live in the freaking same dang city. You're telling me that I won't be like, okay, let me just go see my mans, or let me go see this man that is interested in me, or at least let the man want to see me that he says is interested in. For 3 years, there would not be anything else after that. I wouldn't even be showing up on the show with him when we've been talking for 3 years and never met. What kind of madness is that? And we live in the same city. It's not like you live in a completely different country, you're broke and can't travel. Like, I don't understand. Or you're an illegal immigrant who can't travel. Like, this is not that. So it's really concerning. Now, I will say that Greg did plan the date based on what she would like, which I absolutely like. I like when men pay attention and they're like, okay, from what we've said, or for what we've discussed, I know she likes this, so I will do this. I absolutely love that. I stand a thoughtful man. However, I'm still side-eyeing him and her for waiting 3 years to see each other. That's just weird to me. But I'm side-eyeing him because he's the one that I feel should be leading the relationship. That's just my personal preference, right? Like, I'm never going to be the one that would lead a relationship. Not something I want to do, not something I fancy doing. So in the way in which I see relationships, I see it as the man making his intentions known, leading the relationship, and then I reciprocate. Okay, let's move on to Josh and Shay. These are the ones that have been dating for 12 years, but this man has a 3-year-old. I'm like, wait, sir, the math is not mathing. So you all be messing around for 12 years remotely, but he has a 3-year-old? How, Sway? How? Like, what is going on here? Like, what is happening to these people? Now, if we're talking about the date, he did bring her flowers. They seem to have an immediate connection. I don't understand what the heck she was wearing. It was like, I'm like, girl, that dress does nothing for your body. It does not flatter you in any way. Yeah, it's a no for me on that one. But it seems like Josh liked it because there was all this like attraction between them. They were kissing straight away. It looks like they were really connecting. But for me, that doesn't mean I still don't have questions as to how they went 12 years without seeing each other and how he has a 3-year-old kid. It's not an immaculate conception, so I need the answers. Now, this is just me. But I'm hoping that they show something about that on the show because I want to see that. Now let's talk about Chris and Sandia. So when Sandia walked up to Chris, she was like, "Oh, they looks like they were matching and color coordinating." It did look like that. It looks almost like they had planned their outfit. So I was like, okay, at least they have some similarities there. He also planned a date that she would like. He planned a date based on things that he had heard that she wanted to do, which included a helicopter ride. I was like, you know what? That's quite nice, right? I like when someone listens and puts in the work. Now, of course, I was side-eyeing him from the start of the episode because of something Sandia said, which was that she said that he apologized in advance in case he said something that she wouldn't like. And I'm like, that is such a weird thing to do. It's like, I'm apologizing in advance because I know I'm about to be a mad person. I'm about to act crazy. I'm about to act unhinged. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you an apology in advance. That is so weird to me. And so I'm expecting nothing but insanity from Chris. I will say that. So, well, he did good on this date, but as we will see as the episode proceeds, that he could not keep that together. Now, let's talk about Aaron and Joanna. Aaron basically said to Joanna that you look good today. Now, this is the thing. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's like societal, maybe from where I'm from. But when you tell me you look good today, that gives the impression I don't be looking good. Okay? I do not like that. You either say I look good and you keep that today to yourself, or don't tell me I look good today. Like, keep that. I personally don't like that. I don't like when people do that. What's today about? Are you saying that I look like crap every other day and today is the one day you see me look nice? Which is not a compliment in my opinion. So no, I do not want that personally. I look good all day, every day. And that's what I think now. I thought it was interesting that he planned the date and it felt like Joanna wasn't really feeling it. I don't know if they had a disagreement before, but Joanna just seemed not into it at all. Like, even though Aaron is not a drinker, he set up a date that he knew she would like. But I think that she wanted a date that they could both enjoy. But I'm like, okay, he did something nice. Just appreciate the fact that he did something nice. He was thinking about you, and so he did something nice. And then when he grabbed the corkscrew to try to like open the wine bottle, but didn't know how to use it, it was just like, I don't know why it was such a huge thing. He doesn't know how to use a corkscrew. Do it yourself. It does not need to be so dramatized. There is no connection there in my opinion. I would just be like, you guys just need to relieve and release each other. I don't even think Aaron is into her. I didn't see no chemistry from his point. I didn't see nothing from her point. It's like two people that are just forcing themselves to be together. That's what it was given. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now let's talk about Aaron and Diamond. So when they met, Aaron basically gave her a gift and was like, oh, he likes BBW women and, you know, she's thick and whatnot. I'm like, okay, good. At least the initial attraction is there. All right, good. Now let's talk about things. So she goes on to then say, like, why would he go on social media to show a ring that he was going to give to propose to another woman? And here's the thing, right? This is why you should not be out here dating nobody and you haven't seen them. Now, of course, you can start a relationship that way, but make sure you see ASAP. Because now he's been dating you and talking to you for 4 years, but then midway 2 years in decides to try to propose to someone else. Does that make sense to you? So, which means if he's doing that, he's actively dating other people. So, like, why are you fooling yourself? And I'm just like, if you're going to date someone you haven't met, be aware that they could potentially be dating other people. And if it's for that long that you haven't met, they are probably most likely 90% at least, 95%. I feel like 95% more likely to be dating other people. Because what is the reason why you will not see your babe, the one you want to spend the rest of your life with, the one you are enamored with? You're not going to see her in 4 years. What do you think this is? So I'll be like, that is weird to me. I want to explore more of that and see why they haven't actually met. I think this season, this episode is off to an interesting start. Now, it does go left shortly, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. But I want them to dive into why they have not actually met and be honest about it, because I feel like that would add to the richness of this season. Now, let's talk about when everyone got back to the house. So Chris said that like he was talking to the boys, and Sandia was like, still in the kitchen, so close enough to hear what it is that was being said. And Chris was basically saying that, he's dating multiple women, with women, he gives them a couple of dates, then he ghosts. He even says that he and Sandia are not dating. He flirts with a lot of girls. He gets girls easily. I'm like, I can believe that. I know you're right. You were right. But like I said, he is going to be a problem this season. He already is. Because do you know how disrespectful it is to say in front of Mandem what you're saying? Saying we're not dating, I flirt with a lot of other women. You didn't even care that she was there. And then when you noticed that she was there, you were like, can you leave? Like, what? How rude is that? I knew he was on demon time, to be completely honest, from day one. Like I said, when I heard that comment that she made, I was like, it's about to be a madness. Literally, I knew it was about to be a madness. Now let's talk about what I think you guys may be waiting for. Hoochie Daddy shorts. So Alexis was like playing around with Greg, basically saying that, he got the Hoochie Daddy shorts on. She said it a few times. Everyone was laughing. It just felt like banter. And Dominique was not feeling that at all. Now, instead of him to like raise it at that time, he said nothing. And the joke continued and continued and continued. So then later on, he addressed it with her that he wasn't feeling that. And she's like, oh, and then he gave the example that, if, for instance, he saw a girl with a fat ass and he was like, oh, you got a fat ass, would that be okay? And so immediately she's like, oh, my bad. I think that's when she really clocked on that, do you know what? I'm wrong. The way I thought about it, I'm a goofy person. The way I thought about it, it's not the way you're thinking about it. So I put my hand up, I'm wrong. And then as if it wasn't bad enough, he then proceeds to say, well, when I see a fat ass, I'm going to say she got a fat ass. I'm like, there's no reason for that. We should be mature. She just owned up to her part, right? Why can't we dead it, right? You can say, I'm still upset at you. I'm going to need a minute. That's absolutely fine. But then for you to then be saying, oh, I'll say she got a fat ass, like, why are you still trying to escalate things for no reason? The next thing, he's holding her in a way that I feel like is threatening to begin with. Like, when you're having an argument with someone, there's no need for you to be holding them so tightly, all up on them in that way. Give them some space. It initially looks like, she was like trying to like come out of his grip or whatever, but she was like smiling on I didn't even understand that bit. Next thing, he pushes her. Can you believe that? That's his insanity. He literally shoved her, like, aggressively. And I'm just like, why is that acceptable for you to, first of all, be all up in her and then shove her, push her? That is abuse. And the fact that like no one stepped in, at least we didn't see nobody step in. We didn't see nobody say, you can't push her. What are you doing? Separate them. Nothing of the sort. I'm just like, why would you do that? And why would you be aggressive to a woman like that? To me, I'm like, they literally need to be removed off the show. He needs to be removed off the show. I don't know what they're going to have to do with her, but he needs to be removed off the show because, like, how are you going to be in someone's face and then push them aggressively? And you're a man, you know better. And it was almost like it was even like trying to square up with her. Like, who do you think this is? Like, what is wrong with you, sir? There's nothing anyone can say to you. That man is abusive. And imagine this happened behind closed doors without a camera. He would have whooped her. He would have whooped her, like, seriously. And I feel like, I don't know what OWN is on, but like, seriously, why didn't they step in? Why didn't they at least put like trigger warning? Why didn't they at least put something in there saying, you know, if you've encountered abuse, contact this number? Because like, it's very disheartening for someone to watch that, someone that has been through sort of that similar sort of abuse before and maybe triggered, right? So it's like, it's not okay for you to have that in the screens and not have some sort of way to like help people or signpost people like to some sort of help that they can get in relation to that. So that's what I thought about that. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I also want us to go live and talk about these things because I feel like I want to hear what you guys think. I want us to be able to talk a little bit more about these shows together. So let me know, you know, if that's something you want us to do, and if you guys have a preference in terms of timings or days. And I'll speak to you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.